doesn't like free, right? Click on a challenge button and subscribe to my free 30-day real estate investing video challenge. Every day you'll get a video on how I built my business doing nearly a deal per day. It's 2.5 hours of industrial strength training. Hey there, Peter Vekselman. So today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, and that is the importance of developing the investor databases. And I will tell you, so many times investor databases are tied in just to the wholesaling business. I will tell you, and I don't want to get too much into it today, investor databases are important beyond that. Whether you're buying, fixing, and selling, whether you're buying and renting, whether you're doing creative deals like lease options, all of those resources can come out of your investor databases. Your money people, your partners, your suppliers of deals can come out of it. But today I want to focus pretty much on the importance of it as it relates to the wholesaling model, and specifically as it relates to investor databases and your buyers. And I want to hit this topic that I've hit on before, but it's so important, and that is the importance of taking time and effort in developing buyers and investors outside of your local marketplace. See, so many investors in this business that are wholesaling deals tend to gravitate to local investors because, let's face it, they're easier to find. I mean, you can go to RIA clubs, you can go to networking associations. It's easier to find them online, these local investors. But my contention is very simple. You have to stay focused on investors outside of your market. I want to talk to you about two reasons why that's important. Number one is this: the further somebody is away from the property, the more they'll pay for that property. So let's say you're wholesaling a deal on Main Street and you got a local investor. See, that local investor, any way you look at it, that local investor has certain connotations. That local investors has certain preconceived notions they have about that property. Number one, they're local, so they have the ability to find their own deals in this market. They have resources in this market. They may have their own agents in this market. They might evaluate this property a little bit differently. So they will set a certain price for it. And again, usually the local guys want a higher rate of return, a higher ROI on these deals. Now let's go across the world. Let's say you got an investor looking at the same deal from China. See, that Chinese investor, their perspective of that deal is totally different than that local guy's. See, that Chinese guy is looking at that deal not just from an ROI perspective. Sometimes he's looking at that deal from strictly another perspective other than, I got to get my own money out of China because I know here I can't get any kind of a return on my investment. So the local guy might be looking for, let's say, a 10 or a 15% ROI, whereas the guy across the world whose number one contention is just get his money moved out of the country, if he's making a 5% ROI, he's 10 times happier. So the further someone is, the more they will tend to pay for that property because their expectations of that property are different than the local guys. The second reason why you got to stay outside of your market in terms of identifying investors is those investors tend to buy more than just one deal. Think about it. If you're an investor and let's say you just have a limited amount of money to work with, let's say you only have like $30,000 to spend. Well, if you have $30,000 to spend, I promise you're spending it right where you are. Because right where you are, you could see that $30,000. You can go to that property, you could make sure it's there. If you're renting it, you could make sure that the toilets are fixed. Remember, that small amount of money, you want to basically hover over that. Now, let's say you're an investor and you have $2 or $3 million to spend. Well, at that point, you're looking at investing from a different perspective. Number one of the things you may be looking at is you're looking at diversification. So those investors are not going to just put all their money in one basket, like one geographical area. They may want to diversify their portfolio by spreading it out over different markets. If you have a couple $1 million to spend, you tend to be a little bit more savvy of investor. You're not necessarily looking to hover over your investment and fix the toilets because you have systems in place, you have people in place, you have infrastructure in place. Again, that's another reason why you tend to be going more outside of your market. So when you're developing these investor databases, think beyond your own marketplace. Number one, the further someone is from the property, the more they tend to pay. Number two, the further someone is and the more money they have, they also tend to diversify, which means from the far away investors, you probably be able to get multiple purchases. They tend to have more money. That's why they're looking in different locations. Don't forget that. Don't just focus locally, focus globally. Hey, you guys know what we do here. We do a ton of deals, and I have a one-on-one coaching program where I coach people just like you to help become very, very successful real estate investors. So if you're a buyer or you know other buyers literally all over the world that are looking for deals in a Georgia market, specifically concentrated towards Atlanta, you need to be on our buyers list. By now, you'll see my email scrolling across the screen. Send me an email. Just say, add me to the buyers list. And on a daily basis, you're going to get some terrific, both ROI and equity-driven deals emailed right directly to you. The other thing, if you're looking to become a successful investor, whether you're brand new, just getting started, or whether you're doing it already and you're looking to be a bigger, more sophisticated, more savvy investor, I know I could help you do that. Again, you could either send me an email to learn more about my one-on-one coaching program, or better yet, right below this video, there's a link, coachingbypeter.com. You can go straight there and learn more about how I could help you become very successful in this industry.